Well, week one was very interesting. Statements were made by the likes of Georgia, Miami, and even Notre Dame. We're going to recap what took place in week one. We're going to get you ready for week two right here on Bearing Down a Gridiron. Let's get to it.
I feel blessed, that's evident. I'm the best I've ever been. Okay. So if they ask you how I feel, what's up? I'ma tell you I feel amazing. I feel blessed, that's evident. I'm the best I've ever been. So if they ask you how I feel, what's up? I'ma tell you I feel amazing. I feel blessed, that's evident. I'm the best I've ever been. I am. So if they ask you how I feel, what's up? I'ma tell you I feel amazing. I feel blessed, that's evident. I'm the best I've ever been. That's right. So if they ask you how I feel, I'ma tell you I feel amazing.
What's up, people? I know I'm late. My bad. Had some technical difficulties. Got it all straightened out, but I'm here. Bearing down a gridiron. Man, week one was something else. Oh my gosh, week one. It was, I don't know what to tell you when it comes to week one, but week one, we saw statements made in week one in the college football season. Man, and yes, one of those statements came at the expense of my Florida Gators. I will talk about that and another team in Florida that's not having a fun time as well. But man, it is great to have football back now. College football is off and running. The NFL will be off and running starting tomorrow, and then we get Sundays back for NFL. Man, so once to get into. But thank y'all for tuning in today. If you're tuning in, you catching us live on our YouTube channel, the Playmakers Bar YouTube channel. You're also catching us on our Facebook page, the Playmakers Bar Facebook page. So thank y'all for tuning in. Give me comments what you thought of week one. What was your biggest takeaway from week one? How you think about week two going on, stuff like that. And before I get started, my man Victor's in the chat. What's going on, Victor? Man, it's been a long time, but I finally get to tune into the hardest working super hacker in the broadcast with the protection program, codenamed The Playmaker. Good to see you, man. Thank you for being in. Thank you for watching. And I hope you tell me how you felt about week one, man. Let me know. But those of you who are faithful listeners to this, y'all know how I roll. Got to give you your news and notes from around the college gridiron, so they'll hit the 2-minute drill. And to begin our 2-minute drill, Deion adapts new tech before Nebraska game praises rule. So what they're saying here is Colorado Coach Deion Sanders threw cold water on the idea that the Buffaloes game this week against Nebraska would be again personal. He praised Nebraska coach Matt Rule ahead of the rivalry game, saying, quote, I have a ton of respect for Matt Rule. He's in, I call it our class of coaches. We all took in a tremendous test last year, along with Arizona State's head coach Kenny Dillingham and several others. So I felt like we're a fraternity. So I root for the class of head coaches that came in this year. Interesting approach. It's totally different from what he said last year, and we had what he said last year. Last year, leading up to the game against Nebraska, which was in Colorado, he said, quote, this is personal. That's the message of the week. This is personal. Now he's going to Nebraska for this game, and he's singing a different tune. Interesting, Coach Prime. Interesting. Let's see if it works. You survived week one, which I'll get into because that's part of our campus tour from week one. You survived week one. We'll see how you do in week two against Nebraska and that Cornhusker State. All right. Moving on. Crash survivor. Bowles, Georgia settles. Jalen Carter suit continues. Victoria Bowles, who survived the freighter car wreck that killed a University of Georgia football player and recruiting staffer on January 15, 2023, has settled her claim against the school's academic department, according to court filings. In a August 2019 filing in the state court of Gwinnett County, I know exactly what that is, Georgia, Bowles' attorney said in a motion that, quote, As a result of a compromise and agreement entered between the parties, they were dismissing the University of Georgia Athletic Association as a defendant in the case. The terms of the settlement were not immediately known, so they found a way to settle their sides. But, however, Bo's lawsuit against Philadelphia Eagles defensive lineman Jalen Carter, who was a part of the Georgia Bulldogs at the time, and the in-state of Chandler LaCoy, the recruit staffer who was killed in the wreck, will continue. Well, Georgia got their hands clean and washed away with that one. Jalen Carter and the unfortunate state of the recruiter staff that has died in that crash, that lawsuit is still going on, unfortunately. But Georgia can wipe their hands clean and they can move on and move forward. Now, now we got some tough ones to come about. Cal running back Jane Alton probable versus Auburn. Coach said so. He's been dealing with I don't remember. I think it was either a hamstring or an ankle injury he was been dealing with leading up. He looks good. He's saying it's going in the right direction for a critical game for Cal against Auburn. I believe that game is at Cal, by the way. So it looked like Auburn were taking a West Coast trip over there. We'll see how they works for them, how they do. But I do like Auburn's chances in that still. Iowa State's Bacon out indefinitely after undergoing surgery for a left leg injury. Iowa State will be missing one of its top defenders as linebacker. Caleb Bacon is out indefinitely following surgery Sunday to repair a lower left leg injury. Cyclones coach Matt Campbell said there is a chance Bacon could return later in the season, but did not put a timetable on when the redshirt junior could see the field. Bacon, a former walk-on who finished second on the team with 60 tackles in 2023, sustained the injury in the first quarter of Saturday's win against North Dakota. He was carted to the ISU's locker room. Campbell said Bacon prognosis is actually better than what the team medical staff initially feared. Well, that's good news. So it sounds like they was fearful of a season-ending injury. It's not a season injury. He's going to be out for quite a bit, though. So they will have to find a way to stay afloat while he's out. But they can get him back during the season, which is a good thing. A very, very good thing. Good for Iowa State. Not good for LSU on all types of fronts. And when I say on types of fronts, this is injury. This is instead of, salt the injury. This is injury to salt because LSU Johnny Nairn Jr. has torn ACL, which means he's going to miss the rest of the season. LSU running back Johnny Emery Jr. tore his ACL in his left knee in practice on Tuesday. And expected to miss the rest of the season, according to sources who confirmed to ESPN. Emery, the Tigers' starting tailback, to his right ACL in a victory over the Florida Gators on November 11th last season. He played in only 7 games last season. He had 1,123 rushing yards and 16 touchdowns in six seasons with the Tigers. A senior from St. Rose, Louisiana, Emery ran for 61 yards on 10 attempts in Sunday's 27-20 loss to the USC Trojans in Las Vegas. Prayer for a full recovery for John Emery Jr. But outside of that, I got some words for LSU. But I'm going to get to them. Matter of fact, I will get to them after the break because that would do it for our 2-minute drill. And like I said, we're going to take a break because when I come back, we're gonna do our gridiron recap, our first gridiron recap of the season. Some statements were made and some disappointments were saw and can't be unseen, unfortunately. We'll be back.
I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition,
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
news. The largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant. Weather. Devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States. Inspiration. A breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Shop hats and official sports gear at Liz. Liz is the leader and #1 destination for hats, gears, and everything that moves you, making it the perfect shop for fans to find official sports hats, merchandise, and gear. Represent your team, your town, and your style with a snapback adjustable fitted hat or beanie from thousands of college and pro teams. Browse the very latest sports jerseys and t-shirts from the best teams out there. Liz has officially licensed professional and college sport team apparel and hats featuring the hottest brands and trends. Shop online or visit one of the 100 stores across the country. Locker Rooms by Liz.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets. Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On YouTube and where you can find all podcasts. Rams fans all around the world.
It's a beautiful thing to be a Rams fan right now. Stafford's back. We're going to see about Cup. And running back Kerryon Williams to return.
Lend me your ears, or should I say lend Playmaker your ears, as he breaks down week by week everything in the Los Angeles Rams canon.
Number 99, Aaron Donald. Can't wait for 2029 to come to know that you are going in the Hall of Fame, and it should be first ballot, no questions asked.
Join the Playmaker as he breaks down everything Los Angeles Rams style in Ramily Talk on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts.
And welcome back to Bearing Down and Gridiron here on this lovely Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the 9th month of the year, September 4th, 2024. Man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. If you are watching on our YouTube channel, thank you very much as we are slowly growing our YouTube channel. If you don't mind, if you're new, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. So every time either Bearing Down and Gridiron comes out, Shooting Lights Out, which I recorded yesterday, comes out, or Ramily Talk, this commercial you just saw, which will be tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. recap previewing the final 4 weeks of the season for the Los Angeles Rams before week 1 of the NFL season kicks off tomorrow when the Kansas City Chiefs host the Baltimore Ravens. And then speaking of Rams, they are on Sunday Night Football in the city and the team that ended their season last year, the Motor City of Detroit, Michigan, against the Detroit Lions. All right. Now that we got those nice tidbits out the way, we got to recap week 1. So, our first installment of this year's Gridiron Roundup. All right, let's start it off. We're going to go back to Thursday, August 29th and Friday, August 30th. Colorado, second year on the Coach Prime. They survived North Dakota State Bisons 31-26 in a game that I told you it was going to be close. I told you I was going to be close, and they survived. Also on Thursday, we had North Carolina travel up to Minnesota to take on Warrior Boat Golden Gophers, and a missed field goal in the waning seconds of the game gave North Carolina the 19-17 win. Nice road win for Matt Brown and the Tar Heels of North Carolina. And then Friday, TCU traveled out west to Stanford to take on the Cardinals in their first game as ACC members, but it was the Big 12's Horned Frogs handling business 34-27 with the dub on that. Now, let's focus on the Colorado game because I did tell y'all it was going to be a close game. There's a reason why Matt Rule, who Coach Prime will be facing this upcoming weekend, said, "Don't schedule no Dakotas on my schedule. Schedule no Dakotas." And one of the best Dakota teams out there is North Dakota State, which the Colorado Buffaloes open up against at home in Boulder, Colorado. Boy, I tell you, they still have some issues, but Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, man, oh man. Shedeur Sanders, as you can see on the screen, 26 for 34, 445 passing yards with 4 touchdowns and 1 pick. 3 of those touchdowns went to Travis Hunter. One of which he caught the ball with the defender's hand in his face, literally in his face. And we was like, how did he catch that? Just how? So you also see Joe Horn Jr. there with 7 catches, almost 200 yards receiving with a touchdown. So no questions about the quarterback. No question about the two-way player of Travis Hunter who can play both wide receiver and corner. I think he played every snap except for maybe 3 in that game. Defensive line looked better. Offensive line looked better. Shedeur Sanders was only sacked 1 time. We'll see though how it progresses though. But I told y'all, North Dakota State was coming to play. Y'all put some respect on North Dakota State. Oh, they're one AA team. They're LCS. If you know football, you're gonna put some respect on North Dakota State. They might be a FCS school, but them boys know how to play some football, and they played. Okay. Now let's head to the big day that was Saturday, August 31st, 2024. This past Saturday, Georgia dominated Clemson 34-3. Good gracious. Penn State went to Morgantown, West Virginia, and they handed the Mountaineers 34-12, despite having I think it was like a 2.5-hour rain delay, weather delay, should I say, because that game didn't finish until it was close to prime time, close to the 3:30 games was starting. And I'll take that back, close to after the 3:30 game started. Yeah, that was that long. Probably one of the biggest upsets of the week 1 happened in Nashville, Tennessee, when the Virginia Tech Hokies went to take on Vanderbilt Commodores. And they lost to the Vanderbilt Commodores 34-27 in overtime. I was told Virginia Tech was bringing back 20 starters from last year. Vanderbilt has been known for being the bottom barrel of the SEC. Virginia Tech lost. But the game we're going to focus on is the main game. how Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers took an ass whooping in the ATL by the University of Georgia Bulldogs football team. 34-3. It was 6-0 at halftime. And then Georgia decided to throw up 28 points and allowed Clemson to kick one field goal in the second half. Caleb Kupnick, not good. Running back, offensive line. Now, Clemson still got a defense. They still fall. Yes, you can see. Beck only threw for 278 and 2 touchdowns. All right. Frazier only ran for 80. Frazier was actually running. He started to gas them late in the game, by the way. Clemson, they have a pretty good defense. They offense, though. Oh, my God. Dabo. This is not the start that you wanted. This is not the start that the Clemson fans wanted. Probably didn't mind you losing, but 34-3? Dabo. But yet you don't want to use the transfer portal. Okay, you want to stick to your guns. You want to develop your players and stuff like that. Well, developing number one was an ass whooping waiting for you in the ATL by the tune of 34-3. So Dabo, you took one on the chin. Let's see, can you bounce back and move forward? Because the ACC is wide open. Because a lot of things happen to one team that has opened up the door for the ACC. Just saying. Continue on for our next slate. Miami. Went down to the swamp and gave it to the Gators. Notre Dame. And they ugly. And I do mean ugly game in prime time in College Station at Kyle Field against the A&M Aggies. Came out victorious 23-13. And then Michigan opened up their tighter defense at home in the big house against Fresno State. First half was a struggle. Second half, they looked like the better team that they supposed to look like, 30-10 with a win over them. I must head to the swamp, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a Gator fan, you know what happened. So I have to do my due diligence. I have to do my job. We got our ass whooped. Cam Ward, the quarterback from Miami. Oh, he's the real deal. Oh, my gosh. That man did not look scared. He did not look flustered. It's the swamp you're talking about. No, the swamp didn't get to him. Nope, swamp didn't get. Nope. He picked that defense apart. That man threw for almost 400 yards. He almost threw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had that one bad interception. That was the only mistake he had. That's literally the only mistake he did. Now that Miami didn't really run the ball that effectively, but it didn't matter when you have a quarterback like Cam Ward. I don't think you need to run. I don't think he's worrying about running the ball very effectively. That dude is calm, cool, and collected as all get outdoors. Graham Mertz. Then Billy Napier, the offense didn't look right. Now I could credit, Montreal Johnson Jr. for having over 100 yards rushing, but 71 came on run. So 106 minus 71, you're talking 10 carries for 35 yards. Being honest, I hate, it's my team. I love the Gators. But if we're being truthful, Montreal Johnson he had 10 carries for 35 yards. Then he ended up with that one carry for 71 yards to the crib. And actually helped. In matter of fact, that was actually the last score that Florida had. Because they went to 17 to 20. And then Miami worked off 21 straight points to make it a blowout. Just being honest. But yeah, Billy Napier, you are in trouble. You was already in trouble when the schedule came out 2 years ago. When we saw the schedule, it was like, ooh, that's year 3 for Billy Napier. Ooh, Miami, UCL, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss. And sure enough, we're right on cue. Week 1, get your ass whooped. Offense don't look good at all. Defense. If the defense can stay disciplined, Miami don't score 41 points. That's pretty much what it is. If the defense is disciplined, they don't give up 41 points. 3 of the Miami's 41 touchdowns came on stupid, undisciplined penalties by the Florida Gators. 2 of them which was roughing the passer. What are we doing here? Billy Napier, you better get it together. Or this is your last year in the Gainesville. Now, you already messed up what you said in the press conference when you talk about some worry about what's focus at hand and some person who is twiddling or keyboarding in their basement and everybody's picking on you because you're in the state of Florida. Ain't no damn basements in Florida. The hell, you don't take your behind back to freaking wherever you came from with that whole basement jump. You don't do basements in Florida. Hell, you're already by the goddamn sea or the ocean or the river, wherever you at. You either by a sea or ocean or a river. Pick your choice. All right. But Billy Napier, you're not off to a good start in year 3. Get it together. And then we hit to the primetime game. Ugly game it was down in Kyle Field in College Station against Texas A&M and Notre Dame. But the Notre Dame Fighting Irish came out on top. Very ugly. But 10 points in the fourth quarter by the Fighting Irish gave them the 1-0 record and dropping A&M to the 0-1 record. Ryan Leonard playing against his former coach. Very interesting game. Notre Dame can still win the hell out the goddamn ball. That's for damn sure. Now, if they can find some playmakers on the outside, this team could be even more dangerous. They play a hell of a defense. I give them that too. But the only thing I think is Notre Dame's missing a real threat on the outside. If they can find a real threat on the outside, if that turns to be Collins, not a bad option. But if a real threat on the outside to go with that run again, because Love can run his butt off. Love is a physical runner. I like it. Notre Dame will have something cooking. And they got the start that they needed. They are 1-0 in a schedule that is pretty difficult. And this should launch them into a possibility of getting to a playoff spot, which I had them in the playoffs, by the way. I do have Notre Dame in the playoffs. So that was good. That was good to see Notre Dame and Texas A&M duke it out in an ugly game and went Notre Dame's way. And then that was the nightcap for Saturday. We had a game on Sunday. USC beat LSU on a game-winning drive with 8 seconds remaining, 27-20, out in Las Vegas. Miller Moss, the quarterback for USC, picked the Tigers' defense apart. That man threw for almost 400 yards. He only threw one touchdown, but he almost threw for 400 yards. Literally, 27 for 36, 378, 1 touchdown. That is his passing numbers. When is the last time you heard a quarterback throwing for 378, close to 400 yards on the LSU defense? Because that's supposed to be DBU, okay? Defensive Back University, right? Well, DBU almost got home 400 on them by Miller Moss out in Vegas, in a dome, Allegiant Stadium. Brian Kelly. Yeah, you want to slam the table? We was there and we had him. We came. I don't know what's going on. This is the 3rd consecutive time you have lost to a team outside the freaking SEC. You lost to Florida State twice in a row, and now you just lost to LSU. Not LSU, but USC. What is you doing? Why all of a sudden LSU cannot win opening games? What has happened? 2 years ago, you should have beat Florida State, but you can't hold on to the goddamn football, so you gave Florida State the ball right back, and they went and capitalized on it to win the game. Last year, they just whooped y'all ass. You said the stupidest thing out your mouth about, yeah, you're going to beat the hell out of them, and they end up beating the hell out of you. And then Sunday. Maybe you think you're not doing something right. This is 3 years straight. You have opened the season up 0-0. 0-0. Florida State, USC. ACC, now Big Ten. What, Brian Kelly? You suck. You absolutely suck in big time games. You was terrible in big time. I don't understand how you lose so many big time games. If it ain't the opening season, if it ain't the opening game of the season, you're losing in the biggest game that it is, which is the national championship game, when you got your ass whooped badly by Nick Saban in Alabama. Every time your ass get put up in a big game, you come up short. You are meaning me when it comes to big games. What are we doing down in Baton Rouge? Now watch LSU gonna try to go on a run because they lost the opening game. Now they're trying to prove themselves. But only thing you had to do was hold on to the goddamn ball and don't give the ball back to USC. But you can't do that. Just, oh my God, Brian Kelly, something is wrong with you. Okay, something is seriously wrong with you. But man, that is terrible. That this team continues to lose these type of games. It just boggles my mind. And then finally, we had a game Monday. Wasn't part of my campus till Monday, but the results cannot be ignored. The team that went undefeated last year, ladies and gentlemen, up in Tallahassee, Florida, who plays in Doak Campbell Stadium, who garners the garnet and gold. That team has come into this season and they are 0-2. Not only they're 0-2, and I'm talking about the Florida State Seminoles. For those who will be listening to the Worldwide Radio on Saturday, shout out to my brother Roz. Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., right before kickoff. The Florida State Seminole, who was crying and complaining because they went undefeated. They won the ACC and they couldn't get into the playoffs, which there was still 4 teams at the time. And Alabama got in. They was in there for so much, they showed up in the Orange Bowl against Georgia. All the players that were complaining, whining and moaning, they said they're not going to play, and Georgia whooped that ass thoroughly. And then we go to Dublin, Ireland for 3-0. And you get beat on the last second field goal by Georgia Tech. Now, there are a lot of people saying Georgia Tech going to be good this year. Georgia Tech going to be good. I hear you. The problem is I haven't seen Georgia Tech been good. So, you still lost to Georgia Tech. All right, fine. By the way, you're 10.5 favorite. It's right here. The line was Florida State 10.5 favorite, and you lost to that team. Now we get to Monday. We get to Labor Day. You're at home. You're at Doak Campbell Stadium. Home open. 16.5 point favorite to go for Boston College. Even though they have a head coach by the name of Bill O'Brien, who's a former NFL head coach. You're still 16.5 point favorite. And you got your ass whooped in front of your own goddamn fans. You got your ass whooped by Boston College. 2 teams in the ACC who is not synonymous with being good, beat you in back-to-back weeks. So not only you're 0-2, you lost to both teams in the conference already. And we're not talking top-tier level conference games either. Florida State. And those of you who don't know, y'all probably saying, dude, you should be happy if Florida State is losing. Problem is, I picked them to win the damn conference. I picked them to win the conference. They come out 0-2. Now, if I can see you could have played, Oregon or Ohio State or Alabama or something like that, and you lost the first game, fine, Top matchup, go back and forth. But hey, they got the ball last, they won. It's all good. But Georgia Tech and Ireland, at all places, double in Ireland. You weren't even in the state, and they beat your ass. And then you got home, and Boston College whooped your ass. Boston College ran for 263 yards, and Florida State ran for a combined 21. I'm going to say that again. Boston College had a rushing total of 263 yards. Florida State ran for only 21. what more do I need to tell you? That was embarrassing for Florida State fans across the world. That is embarrassing for the city of Tallahassee, the capital of Florida. And then it's embarrassment to the school named Florida State University. Get it together, man. Get it together. All right. Week 1, I went 7-3, you know. Florida. I took a flyer on that. I picked my boys. Okay. I did not expect Vanderbilt to beat Virginia Tech. That's just Virginia Tech. I have nothing to say to you. I really don't. You lost to Vanderbilt. And y'all heard me what I had to say to LSU and Brian Kelly. So 7-3 to start the season. All right. Starting the season 7-3. And here's your new AP top 25 rankings as we get ready for week 2. Georgia State's at number 1, Ohio State 2, Texas 3, Alabama 4, Notre Dame jumps up from 7 to 5, Ole Miss 6, Oregon 7. Oregon dropped despite only winning by 10 over Idaho. Penn State is 8, big win over Morgantown, West Virginia. Missouri is 9, Michigan is 10. Then you have Utah, Miami, USC, Tennessee, Oklahoma on the round of the top 15. Then you see the rest 16 through 25. That will do it for the Gridiron Roundup. All right, we're going to take our second commercial break right here. Then when we come back, got to go on the campus because we got to get you ready for week 2 of the college football season.
Porter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color of crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text. Delete.
Join these 2 football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
Get mountains of entertainment with Paramount Plus. Stream new movies such as Mean Girls, Transformers: Rise of the Beast, and Good Burger 2 with Paramount Plus. Stream live sports such as the UEFA Champions League, the NFL on CBS, the PGA Tour, and March Madness. Catch hit CBS shows such as Fire Country, Ghost, NCIS, and more. But also catch exclusive originals with Paramount Plus such as Special Arts Lioness, The Famous Stallones, and the hit series Halo. The new streaming home of Showtime. Watch Showtime original series and movies when you sign up with Paramount Plus with Showtime. Make it a fun, action-packed adventure for the whole family and create kid-friendly profiles for the little ones. So much to stream with Paramount Plus with over 45,000 full episodes from BET, CBS, Comedy Central, MTV, Nickelodeon, and more. Paramount Plus plan starts at $5.99, but if you subscribe today, you get a free trial. Paramount Plus, mountains of entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Into the Net FC.
Kylian Mbappe just all of a sudden finally understood his role, and I think he finally understood that everything Kylian Mbappe has accomplished already, there is still a hell of a lot waiting for him in the future. Kylian Mbappe is only 24 years old. He has accomplished so much, and you know what? Kylian Mbappe has not even reached his prime. Finally seeing, the Marcus Rashford we have been hoping for such a long time, But, this game, after everything Manchester United has been, doing lately, this was actually the ultimate test, to see if Manchester United, honestly was all of a sudden for real.
I explained this. The United States, maybe they have to suffer this loss as a lesson to learn to prepare for the future. Because 4 years from now, the World Cup is in not one, not two, but 3 countries. The United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. Into the Net FC is available on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bearing Down the Gridiron here on this Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. As we get you ready for week 2 of the college football season. In doing so, we got to go on our campus tour. And we're going to begin on Friday, September 6th, ESPN2 at 7 p.m. We have a Big 12 ACC matchup as the BYU Cougars Felix Fort Worth, Dallas area to take on the SMU Mustangs. The SMU Mustangs, they sneaked out a victory over Nevada. They sneaked one out over Nevada. And they handle business. So somebody got to take their first loss of the season. Somebody got to take the loss on the season. Matter of fact, now that I'm saying it, thinking about it, I want to know what's the spread looking like for this? Because I know I have a lot of bettors that listen to this show. So I need to give them their numbers. Being a good host, even though I'm not a bettor, I don't gamble like that. So we have the line here. It says this is the ESPN bet, by the way. 11.5 in favor of the Mustangs at home. So take that how you want. ESPN says 78.77% chance for SMU to win this game at home. That's Friday. Let's keep it on Friday, and let's head up north to Indiana. And when the Northwestern Wildcats host the Duke Blue, that was in the ACC Big Ten matchup. That's at 9 p.m. on FS1 on a Friday night. Both teams came off victorious. This game was being played. If I remember correctly, this game is being played at their soccer stadium at Northwestern. Interesting place to play football at, but got the little body of water on the side on one side, got the stadiums in the front, interesting setup. But hey, do what you gotta do as Northwestern is getting a new stadium. The spread is Northwestern 2.5 point favorite at home. I think I'm looking at this. ESPN says 54.6 in favor of the Wildcats to 45.4% in favor of the Blue Devils. Interesting choice right here. Let me see how that goes. I'm leaning one away. I know that much. Then let's get to Saturday. Here we go. Oh, boy. Arkansas is traveling to Stillwater to take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. SEC Big 12 matchup. Both teams looked great and they win. Arkansas, they took care of Arkansas Climb Buff and 16th-ranked Oklahoma State. They took down South Dakota State Drac Rapids in their building last week. Both teams come in 1-0. Somebody's going to get that first key loss because now we're in a different season. A loss is not going to take you out of it, but it's going to be a big one if, Oklahoma State loses this game. As of right now, we are sitting at 8.5 in favor of the Cowboys. As of right now, ESPN says 56% in favor of the Cowboys to 44% in favor to 44% of the Razorbacks. A little interesting matchup here. We got the Pink Panthers from the ACC heading to Cincinnati, Ohio to take on the Cincinnati Bearcats from the Big 12. That game is at noon, right along with Arkansas and Oklahoma State. Cincinnati is a 1.5 favorite at home. That's almost, you can basically say that's even. That's a toss-up. A 1.5 at home. You're supposed to get 3 at home. From some of the friends that I know that are bookers and listen to some of the experts that are bookers, you're supposed to get 3 at home. Cincinnati is getting 1.5. 1.5. That game is it's not on here, but that game has been shifted to ESPN2. So that game will be televised on ESPN2 at 12 p.m. on Saturday. 1.5 point favorite is the Bearcats. ESPN says 57% in favor of the Panthers of the ACC. 43% for the Bearcats. They might be on to something with that 1.5 point favorite thing that they got going on. Standing the 12 o'clock hour. Let's go to New Orleans, Louisiana, because the Tulane Green Wave from the American Conference, they are hosting on the Big 12, the 17th ranked Wildcats of Kansas State. Now, both teams are 1-0. And the Wildcats of Kansas are 10-point favorites on the road. 10-point favorites on the road. That might be a little too much. Now, depending on, because I haven't seen Toledo, I haven't seen Tulane this year. I haven't seen them yet. But if they do have the squad that they've been having, 10 points might be too much for the 17th ranked Wildcats. Nevertheless, it's a 10-point favorite on the road. 55.4% in favor going towards the Wildcats on ESPN Analytics. Even with that don't say 10 points. 55.4%, that do not say 10 points to me. Just saying. That don't say 10 points to me, but hey, do what you please. I'm just giving you the information like I'm supposed to. All right, there's at the 3:30 slot. CBS 3:30. Big 12, Big 10. It's a rivalry. It's a rivalry. The Cy Hawk Trophy is on the line, as it always is. Iowa State is visiting the 21st ranked Iowa Cyclones and Hawkeyes to do battle once again. The Iowa Hawkeyes are 2.5 point favorites at home as we speak on today. 71.5% in favor of the Hawkeyes at home. It's going to be interesting. Cade McNamara is there for another year. He's looked good in his first game, throwing for 251 yards and 3 touchdowns. Back is the starter for the Iowa State Cyclones. He threw for 267 and 2 touchdowns. So we're gonna see. I think the last couple of times has been going to the Hawkeyes. Could stay in the Hawkeye Nation. We shall see. Okay, we shall see. Let's head down to the prime time slot for Saturday because we got an 18th ranked, the Kansas Jayhawks, taking on the Illinois Find the Line of the Big Ten. Find the Line versus Jayhawks. When I seen this, I was like, ooh, okay. A little interesting Big 12, Big 10 action we got going on here. I'm kind of interested in this game. FS1 is your station for this game. I'm looking for, we have a 5-point favorite in favor of the Kansas Jayhawks. 66.5 favorite for the Kansas Jayhawks. Okay, not bad. And then we get to the ABC primetime game, 7:30. We're going to Charlotte, North Carolina, Bank of America Field, where it is the 14th ranked Volunteers from the SEC of Tennessee taking on the Wolfpack and 24th ranked NC State of the ACC. So as of right now, the record is 2-1 SEC over ACC. You know, Georgia handling business against Clemson, The surprising victory over Vanderbilt and Virginia Tech. And then, of course, Miami destroyed the Florida Gators. So we get Tennessee and NC State. Would it be 3-1 SEC or would we be tied 2-2 after this one? And this is a primetime game on ABC, so the world will be watching this one. Both teams handle business on their home turf, doing what they need to do at home to handle business. NC State, they struggled a bit, but they got through it. They got through it. Tennessee just dominated their opponent. We're looking at 8-point favor for the Volunteers on the road and 87.9% in favor of the Volunteers on the road, according to ESPN. Good Lord have mercy. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of points. All right. Then we head to the 10:30 slot on ESPN, where we go to Tempe, Arizona, as the Arizona State Sun Devils, partners of the Big 10 of the Big 12, now take on SEC member Mississippi State. Now, this is a matchup I never thought I would ever see. Bulldogs versus Sun Devils. Interesting matchup. 6.5-point favorite for the home team of Arizona State Sun Devils. Should be an interesting game. 56.6% in favor of the Sun Devils, according to ESPN. Looking forward to this one. I'm going to see what these guys look like. Shopping looked good. 214, 3 touchdowns. Love it for the Sun Devils. 258, 2 touchdowns. I'm looking forward to this one. Both teams should be physical. So which quarterback doesn't make the mistake is the question, or which team doesn't make the crucial mistake on this one? All right, that should be something that we should be looking at. But that's at 10:30. Now it's time for our spotlight game of the week. And those of you who know, there's no big surprise or what it is. We should already know. We saw when the schedule came out, we knew what the game of the week was going to be. Let's head to the Big House, Ann Arbor, Michigan, with the new kickoff on Fox. SEC versus Big Ten. The 10th ranked and reigning defending champions, the Michigan Wolverines. They welcome in the 3rd ranked team in the land, the Longhorns of Texas. What appears to be a very, very pivotal game early in the season. A win here can solidify you to making the playoffs. A loss here could make you work for some things here, but you won't be out. You got 12 teams. You got 12 teams, so you won't be, you won't be out of the race. But you will take a hit in a big loss like this one. In the Big House. All right. The spread, they open up at 4 for Texas. Now the spread is at 7.5 for Texas. So 3.5 more points was added to it. ESPN says 73.6% of a chance that Texas goes on the road and knocks off Michigan. And then there's a 26.4% chance that Michigan defends home turf against the Longhorns of Texas. That is very interesting of how they are looking at it. It's very, very interesting how they look at them. Just being completely honest. But I'm pretty sure y'all want to know how I look at these games for them being on our campus tour. And we're going to let you know how I feel right now with our Bear Down Play 10. Give me the SMU Mustangs to defend home turf against BYU on Friday night. Speaking of Friday night, I'm rolling with the Northwestern Wildcats to defend home turf. My man, Brian Snow, aka the Snowman, he would be proud of me for picking his Northwestern Wildcats over the Duke Blue Devils. But I'm going with the Northwestern Wildcats in this one. All right. Give me the Oklahoma State Cowboys to knock off SEC Arkansas Razorbacks at home in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Yes, I'm an SEC guy, but I'm picking fairly here. Give me the Cowboys in my gunny to get the dub. All right. Give me Cincinnati to defend home turf against Pitt. I know what ESPN says. They saying Pitt. I'm going Cincinnati. I could be wrong. I was wrong 3 times last week. Hey, but I'm going Cincinnati in this one. All right. Give me Kansas State. I said some good things about Tulane. I know I did. But when it's all said and done, give me Kansas State. I think Kansas State is just too physical. I think when it's all said, Kansas State is just too physical for Tulane. That's just how I feel. Give me the Hawkeyes to continue to own their in-state rivalry with the Cyclones and the Cy-Hawk Trophy. Give me 21 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes to keep the trophy. I'm taking the Kansas Jayhawks to go on the road and beat the Fighting Nine out of Illinois. So, yes, I have both Kansas and Kansas State both winning games on the road against tricky opponents. Man, what a day it is in college football. Give me the Volunteers of Tennessee to handle business and put the SEC up 3-1 over the ACC by going to Charlotte at Bank of America Stadium, home of the Carolina Panthers, and beating 24th ranked NC State Wolfpacks. Give me Mississippi State. Yet again, I'm going against what ESPN says. It's in favor of Arizona State. Give me the Bulldogs to handle business. Give me the Bulldogs. I'm taking the Bulldogs here. Taking Mississippi State. And then for our spotlight game of the week, we already talked about the Texas and Michigan. The fans have voted. Thank y'all. Thank you to everybody who's been voting. So if you want to get on the voting, follow us on X at PlaymakersThe on X, or follow us on our Facebook page, and every Sunday, every Sunday, just before the games kick off, so around 12 o'clock, around 12 to 1 every Sunday, we will put the game of the week up. So you already know the game of the week. By the time you get to Wednesday's show, you'll be able to vote for who will win the game of the week. This last week, people voted for Notre Dame. Notre Dame took home the dub. This week, it is a landslide. 72.4% of the votes went to Texas, and 27.6% of the votes went to Michigan. Wow. There's little faith in the old Wolverines as national champions. And I'm going to join that 72.4% because I'm picking Texas. I'm picking the Longhorns to go into Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'm picking to go into the Big House. And I'm picking them to smack. That's why I said smack. S-M-A-C-K. Smack the Wolverines around and come back to the SEC with a big time dub on them. So there's SMU, Northwestern, okay, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Iowa, Kansas, Tennessee, Mississippi State, and Texas. Those are my picks for week 2 of the Bear Down Play 10. And that will do it for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all for tuning in. Those of you who will be listening on the Real Rise Radio, you'll be catching this 11 a.m. on Saturday, leading up to kickoff for whatever game you want to watch, whether it's Michigan and Texas, that's at 12, or anything else that you want to listen to. All right. You can listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio, or wherever else you listen to your podcast is at. That will do it for today's episode. I will see y'all next week to recap what took place in week 2 of the college football season and then previewing week 3 of the college football season. Deuces.